Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for checking back in. Today's going to be a how-to tip repair, the old-fashioned way sort of. So you can see the broken tip on this Endura. I've got this at double speed so you guys can slow it down if you want to. This whole process took about 7 minutes, I would say. The total length of the video was 9, but 2 minutes of it was me trying to show you the tip repair as I was going along, and it just wouldn't focus. But anyway, essentially what you're doing here is, holding the spine down to a coarse diamond plate, which is what I like to use because it doesn't tear up your stone. Diamond plates are a little tougher than, say, a aluminum oxide stone or a silicon carbide stone, but you're trying to maintain it at a perfect 90-degree angle, the best that you can, and essentially you're just going to rock back and forth following the original profile of the spine of the knife. And when you get up towards the tip, when you're raising up the end of the handle and you get up to the tip, you can sort of feel the tip dig into the stone. Sort of similar to when you're sharpening a knife at the edge, you can sort of feel when you've gotten to the apex. It sort of feels like it's catching on the stone a little bit. It's the same concept with this, so I know not to raise any higher than that when I'm pushing forward, and I can feel the tip sort of digging into the stone, or I can feel a little more resistance right there. And then I just try to maintain it at 90 degrees the best that I can, and follow that profile, trying to cut the same amount or spend the same amount of time on each section of the spine. And I'm not necessarily focused at the back, near the hole on the spine. That part is straight, and you can sort of just blend all that in together when you're finished. But the most important thing is just following that profile and trying to keep it at 90 degrees so you're not grinding an angle on the spine that's different from the rest of it. So you can see I'm grinding on both sides of the spine there and missing a little bit in the middle. That's kind of what you want. You don't want to just be hitting on one side. So I'm holding it pretty straight there. And this is a pretty easy process. This is the way I like to do it to save the geometry at the edge, because if I were to sharpen this knife all the way back to bring that tip back into a sharp point, I'd be thickening it up a good bit behind the edge, and I don't generally like to do that with any of my knives. And I normally do this process with a belt sander, but I realize that most people don't own a belt sander, so I figured this is a quick, simple way to do it. If you got a little patience and you know decently fine motor skills, you can do this relatively easily. And then here I'm just putting the chamfer, lightly putting that 45-degree chamfer back on the spine. That way, after I ground a good bit of that tip off, you could see a difference where it was chamfered before and not when I was finished grinding the spine. So I'm just reestablishing that light chamfer on the edge so the spine isn't sharp. And then what I like to do after this is take some, anywhere between 320 to say 600 grit sandpaper and reestablish the scratch pattern on the spine just so it looks like it did from the factory. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, pretty easy thing to do if you got a little patience, and works very, very well. So I believe that is pretty much it. Hope everyone enjoyed and found it useful, and we will see you next time.